Hello, 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 and today's not a combo guide, a tier list. Play this character, or trying to bring you into the ways of She Broly. What we are doing today is a series of case studies on all characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and today we are covering not Kefla, not Kale, we're covering Kefla. Now, type of character at a glance, this character is, man, she has all the tricks in the world as you expect from a character from a fusion. Various offensive options. Seems like her pressure doesn't end. Great strings. Great JS. Great control on the ground. Very fast projectiles. So if you enjoy a character who's relentless and in controlling the game, and also not just relentless at controlling the game, having and keeping a life lead whilst easily being able to get into the opponent, Kefla is for you. Now, as always in these case studies, you're gonna hear me talk about up close, mid range, and far. So we like to use a concept called zones. This makes it very easy to understand, so there are no misconceptions. So if you hear me talk about up close, mid, and far, I'm talking about those zones there. Now I'm gonna go through the buttons on the floor, in the air, supers, specials before we delve into win conditions, game plans for these characters, and obviously just fighting against them. So let's begin. So Kefla, at a glance, her nice 5L, good range 5L, that actually moves forward. Her 5LL is a great 5L, good stagger. She can cancel it at any time, so the opponent really has to be wary at any time. So at any time your opponent has to be ready when they're facing Kefla, because she can cancel that. Her 5M runs forward from the mid range, so this is actually a good approach tool a lot of players will use with a lot of other characters. Her 2M is actually a really good 2M. This is -5 on block, so Kefla, yes, Kefla can stagger with just ending in the 2M, so your opponent really has to watch out for when Kefla is doing these staggers. Kefla's 5H again hits at the mid range. Great 5H. You see there. Her 2H is 13 frames, so in the league for one of the fastest 2Hs, if not fastest 2H in the game, with 12s and 13s. So great 2H and a great angle. Now Kefla's 6H is an overhead, as you see there. So this is 27 frames. This is just a bit slower than obviously 6M, but this is really good to throw out the opponent. It has no tail. She doesn't make a single sound until obviously the end, so it's really hard for the opponent to kind of react to. Now, so you combine that with this, with her 5LL, at any time just being able to cancel is really helpful. So Kefla, obviously she can DR as well. Now, put the buttons back on. Sorry. Kefla's JM, fantastic JM that Kefla has here. So this is really good for crossing up, and obviously very good in the air as well. So if opponent wants to super dash, as you see there, this button stays out forever. So Kefla can use this to really, while she's moving around, this is really move to check the opponent, because Kefla can also anti after. Her JL is really good as well. So this is good for super dashes. Obviously a weird angle. So it's a really good button to use there. Now let's go straight into her supers. So Kefla's level 1. She can do it on the floor, in the air. She teleports down. She has another level 1 where she instantly teleports to where you are. So do it one more time. So this is good at kind of long combos. So at very, very long combos for Kefla. Or as he's dropping. At really long combos where you don't have the slide knockdown, this is really helpful for Kefla. But you can use that as well. And her level 3 hits everywhere, literally. What touches that? And on the ground, Kefla also has this Hell Zone like level 3. where she can throw this against a certain opponents, and Kefla can obviously set up a high-low situations versus the opponent. So the opponent really has to be wary when they are facing Kefla. Now let's go straight into her specials, because she has quite an array of set specials, so we're going to be here for a while. Kefla's 236S, yes, as you saw it, this does pre-projectiles. So if Kefla is here, if I hold it down, she can hold it down, and while she's holding it down, for the length of time you hold it down, Kefla will throw out his projectiles. You can do it fast, and it does the hit as well. So this is a really good move that Kefla can throw out as well. Her 236S, 214S, sorry, does this dash. You combine this with the right assists, Kefla can really mix up her opponent. While she's really moving around in the screen, Kefla can really confuse opponents and really hit them out there. Her 236L goes on the ground. Her M version, yeah, meaning -5, but her H version is +4. So this combined with DR, which is obviously green, Kefla's one as well, being +4. So Kefla can really mix up the opponent by setting up this, and as simple as a DR. So she can set up a three-way kind of mix-up there by just the opponent blocking, which is really strong. So those are the majority of Kefla's specials. She also has a 214L. As you see there, this hits from the mid-range. This is a great approach tool. Really fast. Her M version, -5. And her H version, 17 frames. If you see, look, the knockback of this move, this can hit from nearly full screen. So on hit, Kefla gets an easy conversion. So nearly full screen. Kefla can run up all the way versus most characters. I'm just terrible. Kefla also has a great 5S, among the fastest in the game, her 5S. So she's very good. This can be up to +7 full screen. Her JS as well. So it controls a particular angle. So this, if she jumps out of command grabs, this is a good tool to use as well for Kefla. But yeah, those are the majority of Kefla's moves. I could spend forever talking about her specials and all sorts, but let's move on to win conditions and game plans and what particularly Kefla is looking for. Now, Kefla as a character, it is really simple. Once Kefla has hit you and she is in, Kefla has quite a few win conditions for her. For someone like Kefla, if she's in a position where she's able to use 236H and she's able to use the 6H, 6M, and DR, that's very strong for Kefla. So being able to be in a situation where she's in your face and with bar, because Kefla does a lot of damage. So here, someone like Kefla. So having a bar for Kefla is a really huge condition for Kefla. As you see by the damage, Kefla's already doing near half health for Kefla. So having assists, a big win condition for Kefla is being in the opponent's face and having bar. Because as long as she has more than 2 bar, she is going to hurt you. So 0.5 bar and the dream is what Kefla kind of really enjoys. Once she's in this position at the mid-range or even in the corner, the opponent really has to it's really hard for her to deal with her. Now if she combines that with obviously with extensions, with certain assists. Sorry. With Nappa, she can really hurt the opponent. So you got to look out for that with Kefla, just being in the face and being able to set up this situation. Being able to set up this situation and being able to set up with a 6-head. That's a very huge win condition for her, just having the bar. Now let's move into her partners. What partners help this character? Seems like she has it all, right? Now partners for Kefla, as we know, Kefla has great screen control. So from full screen, she's able to employ pressure. She's able to move around the screen at will, and able to stop projectiles and stop all sorts of pressure, and also hit you and be -5. So what Kefla really enjoys is her great screen control is high hit stun assists. Assists that if the opponent does get hit, Kefla herself is able to kind of get conversion. So here with Nappa, if we're able to with Nappa, I'm able to easily get with Nappa. Easy conversion. Because this is a low as well, so for most characters, this is a low. So you see with Kefla. So being able to convert off of straight hits, Kefla enjoys. So someone like Nappa, while she's moving around the screen. So let's do it with Nappa again. So she's able to kind of get easy conversions like that. So Kefla really enjoys this because of her jump M. Because of her jump M, she's able to convert where other characters don't have the luxury to convert. Let me try to get that again. Probably a bit slower. So as you can see there, she loves those conversions with Broly as well. While I move around the screen. So if I move around the screen, Kefla wants, because she's always moving around with the JM, she's a very active character. Do it again, Broly. Ooh, that's probably a bit harder. See, even there with Broly, we can convert there as well. So as long as the assist has some type of hit stun, she's able to convert the. So she enjoys really high hit stun assist. Especially there, we see they're combined with her 236L. She's able to kind of get conversions as well. So let me see if I can do this. There we go. And we obviously Broly. Definitely with Broly. See, with Broly near full screen. Crazy. Absolutely mental. Because of her advancing normals, you see these assists, she definitely likes these two assists. Another thing that she enjoys is, as she has great strings and options from her string, she loves assists that obscure vision and lock the opponent down. So here with Broly, there's a lot to do with for the opponent, or with Nappa, she can hide the 6H here, and because of the block stun, your opponent has to be really wary of these options. So here, this is plus 23. So that's more than enough, and because of Broly, he's obscuring the screen. This is really helpful for Kefla to set up these situations to hide the startup of these moves here. So this is plus 23. So while she's throwing it here, my opponent has to be ready for that. They can't mash there. So my opponent's got to be ready for these situations. So if I do this as well, she's able to set up these very unique situations, so obscuring visions or locking the opponent down. Here I'm locking the opponent down from mid-screen. So that's really strong. So both of the assists are really helpful. Let's see their B assists. Nappa's B assist, plus 23. So doesn't look like it obscures vision. I mean, doesn't like it, obviously great speed control while we're moving around. So let's try for straight hits first. So it doesn't like Nappa helps there. So Nappa doesn't really help while we're scaring on the screen. But while we're doing all of this stuff and teleporting, Nappa can probably help there. So while we set up these situations, because of the speed of Nappa assist, you can also set up this situation with Kefla. So yes, you can potentially use Nappa there because it is really, really fast. Let's see Broly as well. This because of Kefla's speed. Because of Kefla's speed as well, see 256 is there, and because of this, while you're moving around, Broly is definitely going to be a big help here. So while Kefla's moving around, and because of if the opponent's in the air, because of her JM, and obviously you're always moving around, her JM is really helpful in getting those conversions because of her JM. So able to get those conversions. Let's do it again. Because of that JM, so we see S Broly is really helpful there. Now with strings, let's try strings now. Nappa, it doesn't look like it obscures vision, but it makes the opponent block long enough. So it's, because it is fast, let's reflect on. Because it is fast, it's fast enough to allow Kefla to set up this situation. If the opponent reflects, you're going to get hit. So do this. So there she can set up the situation as well. And because if her opponent reflects, doesn't matter because of the 5M. So she really has a lot of anti-reflect strings. Now S Broly as well, completely obscures vision. So while S Broly's here, she can really set up as well. Especially because of the explosion and because it's green as well. You can really mix up the opponent. Now let's go to the C assists. Now we talked about screen control. So this is a character with great screen control. So if we get Broly here, you get the 5S. So obviously this will work, combined with moving around. So this is definitely going to help her. You see Nappa as well. Nappa's a bit slow, on the slower end. Oh, let's say slow, but rapid. Nappa's actually probably the fastest. That was rapid. So that's 41, Nappa. For some reason, Nappa took ages to hit there. But once you start hitting them, with the 5S's, gotta confirm. Nappa was rapid. So Nappa is probably very helpful there. While she's moving around. Now let's look at on block. Nappa is a bit slow, so potentially opponent might be able to reflect. So it does hit if they're reflecting there, so that's really good because reflect is an option people use against Kefla a lot. So assists that naturally beat reflect or beat your opponent's defensive option she likes, so Nappa can work there as well. For lockdown, however, I'm not sure about Nappa. Broly, let's see Broly. Broly's a bit slow. So it looks like you gotta do Broly and 2-1-3-0 together. So probably not. You're not gonna probably use Broly assist here. So yeah, you probably won't use Broly assist in this like this. Now let's check the other side. We have Vegito. So Vegito assist. Let's see Vegito assist. We said she likes high hit stun assist. So Vegito. Definitely Vegito because look, she can hit from here. She can probably go near full screen with Vegito. Because of her 5M, so Vegito definitely helps. Especially when she's moving around. Because of the speed of Vegito. It's really helpful as well. And because as a string, because she has so many options, Kefla doesn't really need a block string. So Vegito will probably help here. Because she has such strong buttons. And the opponent might want to press, so Vegito definitely helpful. Vegeta assist, let's see this. See it for a stray hit. Doesn't look like it helps full screen. Probably not full screen. Yeah, probably not full screen. Let's try Vegeta a bit earlier. Yeah, probably not Vegeta full screen. However, as in strings, because it does obscure vision. Kind of for a second. So that little second destructible disc obscuring vision gives you enough time to set up this situation, which is one of her biggest win conditions, being able to set up this situation. Or even her cross up. So yeah, you can probably use Vegeta for that as well. Now we can spend forever talking about her game plan and what she can do with characters, but what about fighting against her? It seems like she has everything. Now we talked about with Kefla, how Kefla's has great screen control, obviously horizontally. But when you get to more vertically, Kefla actually struggles at this range here. Yes, she has a 2v6S, but this is a bit on the slow end. So while Kefla is here moving around, aside from obviously 2v6M, 2v6S, and her JM, her control here isn't as great as someone like Vegito. So someone like Vegito who's throwing this here, Kefla really has to worry about her area control versus these certain characters here. Character has aerial specials, Kefla just has to be very, very wary of, because her JS obviously only hits it at the angle her JS hits at. Only hits at this angle. So you can approach there. So while you're in the sky here, if you do also have great buttons, a lot of opponents will choose to super jump in the air, call their assists that hit in the air, like Vegeta assist, to kind of catch out Kefla. Now, the second thing about Kefla, or one of the most important, is backdashing. So backdash is actually a very strong option versus a staggered option. So versus her specials, backdash is very strong versus 2v6H. Unless Kefla does like a big read, unless your opponent can actually double backdash there. So unless Kefla does a big read here, the opponent has to be very. There's very situations a lot, especially after 5M. Kefla, yes, she has 5H, but once you spend her after her specials on block, Kefla has to do a big read to catch the opponent. So after her specials have been blocked and after kind of the 5M situations, the opponent can actually backdash a lot of the pressure. And for a lot of other opponents, if they are holding up, yeah, she has great staggers after specials. That's a good thing. She does a lot of low crushes. But if the opponents are holding up after her specials, except for obviously 2v6H, she can beat up, but obviously backdash is very strong versus her staggered option. So while you are staggering, it's always key to remember versus Kefla. It's very key to remember versus Kefla. While she's doing these staggered options, you are able to backdash. So once she does end her specials, using backdash versus her specials, so she can't continue pressure knowingly or willingly, is something that you should do versus these opponents. So just something to think about. Let's go straight back to the character select before I spend forever talking about Kefla. Now, we spoke about Kefla. We spoke about kind of one of the biggest kind of win conditions for a character like Kefla. She has a variety of options, so a cornered opponent that she can use her 2-3-6H, 6H, and as simple as DR. Those three options and going through those three options is very powerful for her. So her being in a position to have 0.5 bar, to be up close, and to have an assist to extend because she does so much damage from these is a really high win condition for her. So once she puts you in that position and being able to set up her 2-3-6HS super, while she's able to set up these supers, is really, really strong for Kefla. Now, partners, we talked about, she loves great screen control, so we saw with Broly's A assist and Nappa's, both their A assists and their B assists were really helpful for her, giving her high hit stun, so she's able to move around the screen, get those stray hits from 2-6 L and the S's. And as strings, they were very helpful there. So assists that help her obscure vision. So we saw Nappa's assist very good for obscuring vision and locking down the opponent, especially for their C assists as well. We spoke about fighting against Kefla. She has a great character, but aerial control isn't her forte. So aside from 2-3-6M and 2-3-6S in the air and JM, it's you're possible to move around, approach her from there. So a lot of people will decide to approach from the air versus Kefla, so she has to be very preemptive with air-to-airing them, or even chasing a life lead is very hard for her if the opponent's always staying in the air and moving away from her. We also talked about Kefla. Backdash is a very strong option versus a staggered option. So when she's staggering, yes, 5M is very strong for catching, but post 5M and after a lot of her specials and 2-6H, backdash is actually a strong option versus her. So that's something an opponent can do to kind of stay away from her staggered options, because she's very powerful in the staggers there. But yeah, I hope this video helped someone. You know, as always, leave a like if you liked it, leave a comment if you did enjoy. And yeah, looks like it's the last case study. So yeah, if you did enjoy the series, please just leave a comment in any of the videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.